weekly. Our recording is now in progress. Good evening, Reggie. How are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm very well, sir. How are you?
Yes, very well. A fabulous, unpredictable weekend of rugby league just gone by. To which somebody who is sat across from me tonight did exceptionally well. It has to be said.
There we go. It's about time, mate.
It's about time. We'll have a little look at that later. But yeah, no, what a weekend. I mean, some of the results.
Can I just say one thing?
Go for it.
Who thought it was a good idea to train in red tops when you're parading bulls on the pitch?
It was comedy gold. And the thing that made me giggle as well, which was absolutely a different class, was all the hard rugby league players are jumping into the stands, and then a woman comes along and says, "Come here, darling."
the guy being dragged along. I mean, come on, Saints. I know we're desperate to win, but you didn't have to let the ball loose when the Catalans all had red shirts on.
I'm sure you, like me, mate, when we get to the highlights, will have a few things to say about that particular performance. But anyway, let's say a few hellos. Graham Parrish is with us already. Andy Hewitt. Good evening. Nick Googe. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't think I've seen that name before. Good evening, Nick. How are you? Aidan Wright, David Wright, Alex Sharp, and they're all coming in. Say hello to us in the chat. Get involved. We want to know your opinions this evening. I will give as many shout outs as we can. Right then, let's get straight into it, my mate. News, not much knocking about, but there's a few stories knocking about. So what's caught your eye since the weekend?
Something
Sorry, mate, carry on.
Carry on. You're all right.
I am. Go on.
Something that I've just come across. Apparently, West's looking at bringing Sean Johnson in.
Sean Johnson?
Johnson, yeah, the New Zealand legend, apparently. Which would free up Luke Brooks, who Leeds Rhinos are very interested in. So,
that's been doing the rounds since probably, I'm trying to think, that's probably about 2 months ago.
But again, it's raised its head again just tonight.
Well, it's like Daz Clark, Warren Guardian. That seems to be gaining traction. For those who don't know, Daz Clark, heavily linked with St Helens.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody who has close ties with St Helens who couldn't deny that it wasn't going to happen, let's say. I think quite possibly it's very likely that will happen.
Good evening to Uncle Freddie McGilvey. How are you, sir? Probably not very well after the weekend. Gareth Morris, good evening to you as well. So, Luke Brooks, mate.
It was kind of end of February, beginning of March. There was rumours, I think. But again, now that West has said they're bringing Sean Johnson in, or want to bring him in, so who knows? Kai O'Donnell looks like he's been tied down to a new deal at Leigh, which is good news.
That is, mate, that's brilliant news for Leigh. Great news for Super League, because he has set the comp. For me personally, Shane Wright's giving him a run for his money, but arguably the most informed second row in Super League.
I would say him and Shane Wright.
Yeah, I think them two.
And Mr. McQueen from Huddersfield has been consistent as ever. He's consistent, but he's playing in a team that just can't seem to get it together at this moment in time.
Absolutely, mate. But no, I mean, Brooks, it's one of them, Brooks. I think you put him in the same bracket as a Jake Clifford, Brodie Croft. He could come and set Super League alike, not really cutting the mustard down in the NRL, on big money as well at West Tigers, big money. They want him off the wage bill, don't they? So that could happen, mate. Anything else caught your eye?
Again, it's probably it's a story that's been doing the rounds, but there's a lot of rumours flying around that this 3 marquee players with 1 English is going to be announced, if not tomorrow, certainly by the weekend.
Which I think, again, from an English perspective, keeping quality talent in Super League is a move in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I would like to see that changed to one overseas, 1 English, and 1 English player that's under a certain age as well, to bring the youth through. Not quite on as much as maybe top marquee, but bringing through somebody who's maybe younger than 25 or whatever, just to give the.
Well, you look at Wellesby. What backs that up is somebody like a Wellesby, innit? So a Wellesby, because he's under 25 in box office. Yeah. He would. So I get that, absolutely.
Yeah. Danny Walker might well fall into that category.
Yeah, 23. So he'd get a 2-year exemption under Mark. Yeah, mate. I see where you're going. with that.
Just so you know, that it encourages our young players to kind of, because we've seen players go over to Australia. You know, Bateman went over.
Yeah.
A couple of others went over and didn't quite do it. I know Bateman's gone back. It would encourage them to stay in our game a little bit longer, I think.
No, mate, I tell you what, mate, of all of the Barmy ideas you've had, that's probably one of your best.
Mate, what might seem balmy today could seem as good news, as good a good idea to the RFL. You know, keep throwing the balmy ones out there, they'll adopt one of them at least.
John Wilkinson, a resident Wire fan. Good evening, John. Gary Dutton, Johnny Norton, Shirley Farrar was Unsworth is with us as well. That's a new one. Good evening to you,
good evening.
Shirley. Good evening. Stick around with us. Plenty of action on the way. All the highlights and plenty of fun and frolics. Stay where you are.
Panel this week. They must have been too busy enjoying the Coronation Bank holiday, just handing fines out and no bans.
No, just a lot of fines. Very little
bannage. The one that sticks out for me, and this is not Saints bashing. Hurrell swears at the referee and gets a £250 fine. Where we have a player banned for 7 games on the say-so of a touch judge.
Bit of difference, though, isn't it?
Not well. The language, we don't know what language was used.
Well, we don't, but I think it was. I think it was.
Right. Yeah. Well,
there's a bit of a difference.
If it's direct to the referee, I don't think it is. Especially.
I think it's worth a ban.
Yeah.
7 games, but yeah, I mean, I'm
just saying, once swearing at ref is £250 fine. Being snitched on by an opposing player and touch judge telling the ref is worth a 7-game ban. Where's the consistency?
Well, a couple of things here. First of all, let's do the serious one. Alex Sharp, Sam Lizzoni, 4 cases, no ban. Absolutely. Great shout. Yeah. Sam Lizzoni had 4 cases, didn't get a ban.
Somebody else up who, Hurrell, again, has been up a few times.
He has been. He has, yeah. Freddie McGilvery is asking, can we skip the highlights of Huddersfield? Absolutely not, Freddie. Absolutely not. You can go and get yourself a brew when we're looking at those if you wish. But we're definitely watching.
It's all right. It's over quite quickly, Freddie, from what I've seen of him. So you'll be fine. Just don't tell Jermaine we said that.
Bless him. Well, I say we'll get to anything. I mean, you didn't see it. I've seen it announced today that Sam Wood will be allowed to leave Hull KR with FC, a possible destination back with Tony Smith. That I think Ethan Ryan as well was in the same bracket. I think there's 3 players. Yeah. If somebody can remind me who the third was, Ethan Ryan, Sam Wood, and a other.
The second rower who was at Warrington Saints, and his name escapes me, went to Broncos and got the injury.
Oh, gold.
Oh, what's his name?
Don't know. You're not about who?
It'll come to me. You're
not on about Savelio.
Savelio.
No, that's Hull FC. He's going to be allowed to leave Hull FC.
Yeah.
But obviously,
he was mentioned in the.
He was, yeah.
Story.
He was, mate. Yeah, he was. But yeah, I mean, Ethan Ryan. Okay, I'm surprised with Wood. Wood's very versatile. Me and you have been quite complimentary of Sam Wood over the last 2 seasons.
He had that howler, didn't he, against Wigan?
He did, and then
last season. And then he came on leaps and bounds.
Yeah, that's
I think something I read was even swap deals for certain players between Hull KR and Hull FC, and Savelio going one way and a couple of Hull KR players coming the other way.
Do you know what? We'll deal with that now. Alex Sharp back, and he's a good lad, Alex, and he gets involved. Go on, Alex, lad. Keep him coming, son. Absolutely right to mention this. In case we forget when we're actually talking, I mentioned this in the sheds, but in case we forget tonight, Mr. Newman and Tom Holroyd having a bit of a set too after the Leeds game.
Yes.
All not well.
No. Things, you always know what the temperature's like in a camp when things like that happen, and when your teammates, we've seen it in football with players fighting on the pitch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a strange one. It's a strange one, and Salford. Wow.
I mean, it happens a bit everywhere, though, doesn't it? But
does.
I think when it's caught on camera, it's caught by the press, it gets flared up, and a bit of passion. 2 great young talents. I mean, Newman has got a bit of a temper, it's got to be said. Jamie Humes is with us saying that Wigan Warriors need a new centre. Which one aren't you happy with, Jamie? Let us know in the chat, and we'll discuss that. Anything else that's caught your eye, mate?
The Leeds Magic shirt is a nice nod to Doddy Weir.
Yes,
lovely touch.
Lovely touch. As is the finest single malt, Doddy. All the best.
Good evening, sir. All the best. Oh, it looks like Guinness, but it's not
Best.
actually. It's
No, I'm having the finest Glenmorangie of a 10-year variety for this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
always classy, sir. Always classy.
Indeed, to everybody out there, to your health, as we talk about the greatest game on earth.
So,
Right, okay, Alex Sharp, 5-bad overlap. Yeah, it wasn't a good execution, it has to be said. I'll tell you what, me and Greg like to get our thinking caps on in case we've missed anything. And whilst we're doing that, let's take a look.
Go on, sorry.
Go on.
Just on I think something caught my eye today. A lot of coaches are now getting a bit fed up with the slow ruck speed in certain games.
Oh, absolutely, mate.
Absolutely. It's something that's gaining momentum with the slow ruck week on week.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, sorry to interrupt you. It was just
no, that's fine. We'll get our thinking caps on for other things. What we'll do now is we'll have a look at what some absolute belters in here. Tries of the week. Unfortunately, we did get a bit of criticism. One of our members, who's a Hull KR fan, just wanted us to show the highlights of Hull KR. We try and spread the love. Ryan Hall is in here. It's just not his length of the fielder. There's better.
That was a great try.
It was a great try.
That was a great try, the Ryan Hall.
Some of the ones from centre field were better, though. Some of the ones from centre field.
I enjoyed the Ryan Hall one, but I'm not going to criticise you, sir.
I did. I enjoyed the Ryan Hall one. I did, but we can't put them all in. Are we here till Christmas? So here we go. Time now for the tries of the round, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy these. Here they come for your viewing pleasure.
Seize the day.
Some little beauties in there, it has to be said. Some absolute belters, in fact. Greg, what was your pick of that lot?
I like the Artemog one.
Nice.
I like the Ben Reynolds one. I'm a bit biased, but I like the Thewlis one where he actually makes the try himself. I think that was our first try. The Richie Myler was a great one. It was like watching American football. There was that many obstructions and people being taken out of the ball.
Freddie McGill was asking, where's our try? We showed it last week, mate. We showed it last week. Oh, poor Freddie. You can feel his pain.
We've compiled Huddersfield's best knock-ons for this week.
You know what? I tell you the one that I really, really liked because of the speed of thought, Jake Clifford.
Yes.
We'll see it again in the highlights, but the speed of thought, I mean, he was going into collision, he took a step back and just dinked it over for McIntosh. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, McIntosh had a real mixed game. He could have had about 5 tries, and he almost let Wigan back into the game. He had a real mixed game, McIntosh, but it happens, doesn't it? It happens, though.
Yeah. Pleased with Thornley, mate. Thornley getting a break, so I was pleased with Thornley. Fair play to him.
Back after 11 months injured.
Yeah,
fair play. I mean, look at the wingers that Wigan have. It's incredible, the wingers that Wigan have got.
Yeah.
No,
mate.
the main two wingers are injured. They bring in guys who just can't stop scoring themselves. It's just
No.
big raps for the Wigan production line. They're just incredible at bringing these young players through. Both Saints, Wigan, and Leeds are good at that.
Spot on. Tell you something I did see. Speaking of Hull FC, that Catalan Dragons have put a firm offer in for Chris Satai.
Yes.
Saw that this week.
Yeah, and apparently
That would be a massive loss. That
Warrington have said that they're not interested in him, which I can't believe for it.
Do you know what, mate? And I'll go in early on this. I was going to save it for the highlights. Jai Whitbread at Whitbread against Warrington on Friday night was out of this world.
Yeah,
he was all over it. He was carrying. He was tackling. Yes. You know,
he's
only 25.
He was man of the
match. Mate, for them all day. I mean, best forward on the field by a country mile on Friday night.
And the young lad as well that they brought
Morgan
on.
Smith.
No, not Morgan Smith. Although Morgan Smith, you know, the decision this week is whether they drop Morgan Smith for Luke Gale.
They can't. You know, again, we'll talk. You know, we're going a bit all over the place here, but you're right. I mean, Morgan Smith was outstanding.
Ex-Warrington player as well.
Ex-Wire, but no, mate, he was. I don't see how you can replace him with Luke Gale, who's been in part-time rugby league. He's going to be like a yes, you're getting experience, but Morgan Smith was outstanding.
He was until Proctor got sent off.
Mate, it was 12-all. It was game on.
They could have won it. I mean, I'm surprised Proctor didn't cop a ban because that was a horrific headshot on Thewlis again, who took about 4 in the game.
I think if Thewlis goes off HIA, he gets a banner for the fact that he didn't have HIA. I think that's
quite possibly. But you know, Thewlis is taking head knock after head knock after head knock in every game.
It is a concern. This is the Super League Raw Fans Forum Fantasy League, and as you can see, Reggie Allen, no relation of our Reg here, or Tim Allen. Reggie's Rockets top. Reggie's Rovers second. He had a good week, the lad. He's now back in top, taking over from Stephen Bowie. Still very tight up there. If you're not a part of the Super League Raw Fans Forum Fantasy League, please do get in. However, a note to Reggie Allen, this is, by the way, you're at some point going to have to select one of those sides and go with it, because it's a bit unfair to have 2 attempts at the grand prize at the end of the season. So we will await your view. Are you going to go with the Rockets or the Rovers? Which one? Because I'm sorry, sir, you cannot have your cake and eat it. Anyway, there you are. That's what I would say to that one. Anything else, mate, from you? Or we're going to go straight into performers of round number 11?
I think we go. I think, you know, this, like you say, since May the 1st, when all the contracts were discussed, and it's been very, very quiet.
Very slow. I'd expect at some point it is going.
I think IMG is going to explode over the next few weeks.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a domino rally effect, mate, as well. I think once one goes, they'll all be announced.
I think so.
Sean Michael Dwyer and Kobe McGilvery are now with us. More Huddersfield fans ready to be tormented. Marvellous. Okay, let's get into the
You're not a nice man, sir. You're not a nice man.
Hey, we were there last year. It's awful, but you've just got to keep smiling. Right, okay, here come the star performers of round number 11. Enjoy. are the top performers. Luke Yates yet again getting in there with some massive tackles. Lachlan Lamb for the second week running involved in the try assist. This man, very surprising to see Sam Tompkins turn up to play Saints, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I'm sure he took all three of the Man of Steel and Albert Goldthorpe points.
Well, we haven't seen the Man of Steel yet, but we'll do the Goldthorpe tonight. Williams in great form. We'll talk about him later. Good to see Johnson, actually.
Well, interesting that the top meter maker and the top tackle bus were both wingers. Interesting to see that, Johnson and Thornley.
Yeah, Thornley, mate. 2-14. Good effort, that.
Joe Westerman's coming back into form after his pre-season indiscretions, shall we say?
Well, absolutely. I think what I would say about Thornley, though, mate, is he didn't have a length for the fielder. So those 214 meters are coming out of his own line. Great work rate from Thornley.
Exactly.
He had a fine game. Good luck to the lad. He's had a
torrid
time.
Rob, good news about Rob Mulhern. I quite like Rob Mulhern at Warrington. I don't think he was given a chance under Powell. Injuries.
Well, he tried to keep him. They offered him a contract, mate, but he was offered more at late.
I thought he could have had the potential to be, to kind of do really well at Warrington. So I'm glad he's growing into the game.
And this man, of course, Luke Yates, another fine display, 56 tackles in a game. He is an absolute workhorse for the Huddersfield Giants. And of course, let's be fair, it was a game where they had to defend a little bit. Right, okay, let's get into some action.
Right,
Good Lord. Hull FC, Wigan. Hull FC fans, many congratulations for your determination in the second half. This is outstanding. Look at the speed of thought.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a thing.
McIntosh, he could have had about 6 tries.
Yeah, that is wonderful skill. This is, I mean, the speed of thought. Here it comes again. Oh, have a bit of that. That's lovely stuff from Jake Clifford.
I thought Jake Clifford was outstanding.
Yeah,
especially in the first half, he was.
And then he goes and does this. I mean, we've seen him do this a couple of times this season. Give him the ball a big. Don't argue. Get in there, lad. That's beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
beautiful stuff. Clifford made the difference. Obviously he was out with that ankle injury.
I mean, I'm still not sure whether that does touch the line, but it was given. So, I mean, Chris Sate is a beast. I mean,
he is a beast, mate.
If he goes to Catalan, that's
huge.
Big boost to them.
Well, I said to you, didn't I? I mean, obviously, I texted you on Thursday night when this game was going on.
I mean, if he gets that's game over.
Yeah, he's away. He's under the sticks.
Yeah.
When I feared the worst now for Hull. They didn't deserve to concede any points. They were dominant in that first half. And when this went in, I thought, oh dear, this could be a bit, because I think it was right on the hooter. It was about 20 seconds to go.
Yeah.
This could affect him. This really could affect him. And of course, in the second half, Wigan come out very early doors and Thornley gets his second. And you're thinking, but then, to defend against the, to do over 20 minutes in pure defence.
It was awesome defence. I mean, look at that that is just magnificent from Satay.
It is, mate. It is.
And I think they messed up, didn't they, after that? But
they did.
Here we go. He's in again.
Steady away, mate. Steady away. Right. Okay, I'm going on my soapbox. Here it comes. I tell you what absolutely did my Sweden.
I know what you're going to say.
What did my Sweden? Okay, here it comes, right? And this has happened too many times. Hull FC on a 7-game losing streak. They've won 2 weeks ago, and now they've had a major scalp against Wigan. Nobody give Hull a prayer going into this game.
No.
They had a phenomenal game. And all Sky talked about at full time was Wigan and St Helens.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
What's going on? Give praise where it's due. Hull have just had a stellar game. The fans, over 10,000 all season, have been supporting them. And you want to talk about a game that is on tomorrow night, that you can talk about tomorrow night when it's on. Give Hull the time in the sun. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Well, this sin binning to me, Wigan have been getting away with slowing the ball down all game. And then just suddenly in the dying seconds, it's a sin binning offence. Yeah, and Wigan and certain teams seem to get away with it. And it's not Wigan bashing or Saints bashing. No. Certain teams seem to be able to get away with it. But I mean, going back to that, the commentary in that last 10, 15 minutes.
They were willing Wigan to win.
Was disgraceful.
Willing them to win. Mate. I agree.
Phil Clark, no matter what question you ask Phil Clark about a game, he talks about Wigan, whether it's Warrington Saints, Wakefield Leeds, Castleford Hull KR. If he's commentating, he talks about Wigan.
Mate, Phil Clark is the only man that could see two old blokes in Cyprus playing backgammon and find a way of getting Wigan into that bloody game.
Exactly.
Let's be absolutely straight about it. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It shouldn't be going on. But that at full time, couldn't believe what I was hearing.
I knew I had something to tell you. Going really off topic here, but at the England-France game last week at the Halliwell Jones, I'm coming away from the bar having been sent there by my good lady wife.
Good evening, Sally.
Even a good lady wife. I'm walking back with drinks, and this guy, you know, when you see somebody and you think you know them, you say, and he just not, he said, "All right, mate," and he said, "All right, mate," back, and "You all right?" "I'm fine." Walking back, and I suddenly realised that was Phil Clark.
Did the shoes give it away?
Eh?
Did the shoes give it away?
Yeah. No, well, they weren't squeaking because I couldn't hear him because of the noise. But and then I told my youngest, who was there at the game with us, she went, "Did you not hit him, Dad?" And my answer to her was, violence isn't the only answer. What I really meant to say was he's about a foot taller than me and a foot wider than me. And it'd have ended up very messy for me.
The reason why I paused this here, we've just given Jake Clifford massive raps for his try and for the brilliant assist from McIntosh.
Yeah.
But this between Griffin and Clifford, brilliant. 40 seconds to go out in the mouth stuff. Look at this.
Yeah.
Griffin might have been offside.
Only by a mile.
Only by a mile. But you know what? Absolutely delighted for Hull FC. We know we've got a lot of people who follow us in Kingston upon Hull and Hull in general. Good evening to you all. We do, of course, the fact that you come out in droves to support Greg and I with Super League Raw. Well done. You've had a torrid start to the season.
And it
you know what?
The league up again, and it's great.
It was brilliant, mate. Mate, their defence, mate. Defence wins games, and that game
it was a great game. It was a real one of those games where it was like almost watching it from behind the sofa in those last 10 minutes.
Mate, yeah, I'm not even a Hull
fan. If you're not a Wigan fan, you are willing Hull to hang on.
Mate, well, Graham Parrish is with us. I won't get it wrong this week, Graham. But, I'm telling you now, if you were a Hull fan, that last 40 seconds must have felt like 2 years. It must have done.
Most Hull fans were balder than me by the time those last 40 seconds had
gone. Oh, mate, happy days. Right, let's get into it then. The Albert Goldthorpe. 3 for Jake Clifford, no major surprise there. Delighted we haven't mentioned him actually. Danny Houghton. Danny Houghton's coming back into form. Really good to see him getting 2 points.
It does kind of take a little while. Oh, maybe Hull fans will slap me down on this, but he does kind of tend to kind of need to get into the season before he starts performing. But once he's on top form, he's great.
1 point. Morgan Smithies. Dylan Dunn. I don't know.
The guy is.
I don't know. Congratulations. Congratulations to Davy Litton. Davy Litton, mate. Davy Litton, player of the month for Hull.
Yeah.
He's
bounced back really well.
Yeah.
Again, has bounced back really well after a bit of a horror show in his first game. And that showboating, which was unbelievable.
Well commented on by us both, sir. Yeah. Right, let's move on. Let's get to the next game. Here it comes. Hull KR.
Right, look away now, Giants fans.
All I will say here is unbelievable. KR this season, if it wasn't, well, probably the 2 teams of the season currently, I would say Lee, KR. Actually, you probably say Warrington based on last year. I think Warrington, KR and Lee, I mean, Minchella there, outstanding.
He's a great player, Minchella.
KR, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, Friday's going to be a blockbuster, but yeah, I mean, this was domination, wasn't it? Absolute domination.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the only time that Giants were near the Hull KR line for a long time.
Yeah, well, I was listening to a bit of commentary, listening to a few fans on this. I believe yet again, Parcell in WR. Obviously, Coote went off early, and Mikey Lewis had to go to fullback. That was interesting. So it's not like they
did really, really well.
Here comes the full length. Nice.
He looks like he's running in slow motion, and he still gets there.
Yeah, outstanding, mate.
It's a great try. It's
a lovely brace from him, mate. It's a lovely brace from him. But yeah, I mean, look, this is I feel a little bit for us, Bill, because when we started the season, when you looked at the signings that they made, there was great anticipation, and there's no question they've got quality in the side, but at the moment. Something is wrong, and if
I think it's fair to say a couple of decisions went against them as well. that kind of, things just didn't go their way. And another night, if they'd have gone the way, it could have been a lot closer.
Well, we talked about Leeds a minute ago in
I mean,
terms of
that is just poor.
Mate,
That is.
yeah, it is bad.
That's
It's
not
bad,
good.
No, it's bad. I agree. It is. That's attitude. That's a lack of desire, a lack of commitment. There's another little kick through. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. That is it. That is something that a lot of teams this season are really doing well. That little grubber kick through, kicks over the top to the corner.
And he kicked really well, Hull KR. I mean, look at that
there.
for G. Look at
that. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's good rugby.
It is, mate. I tell you, KR, mate, and you just can't fault it. You can't fault Hull KR at the moment. I think that man Batchelor's been a very astute signing as well. All right, it is 28-0. Let's get into a little bit. Let's get into a little bit on this. After the game, Ian Watson, I've got it here. I'm going to read it to you verbatim. We talked about Leeds, the Newman and the Holroyd is the fractions in the camp. What do you make of this as a comment coming from Watson? He said it weren't good enough. He talked about smarts and weather football, but then he says he wants Farge and Russell back as their organising halves. He sees it as he's got 3 fullbacks in the team: Olahoya, Price, and Connor. You bought those players, with the exception of Price. It wasn't good enough. But here's the bit: it's a team game, and he goes on to say you have to put your ego away and do the right thing. Look at Hull KR. There are no egos there. Yeah. They're all working really hard and doing the right thing, and they deserved it. That's cutting language from a coach.
Is that a little swipe at Jake Connor, maybe?
Will Price, maybe? I don't know. Huddersfield fans let us know. But when a coach comes out with a comment like that...
Yeah, I'd seen that. And it did make me wonder whether it was a little barb at Jake Connor.
It may. The problem with a sweeping statement like that, it allows us to debate who he's talking about. Yeah. But the bottom line is, when a coach, I mean, I remember Darryl Powell in his end of season interview saying that at one point he gave an interview to the press where he should have curved it. He'd just given letters out in May, which Watson will have done. He's just given letters out in May, and then he starts chastising players who he's told you're down the road at the end of the year. Yeah. Is that a Darryl Powell moment for Watson, where actually what he's done there is he's thrown his players under the bus? I mean, when you start talking about egos, effort, smarts, fans can, probably live with that. But what he's done now is allowed fans into the dressing room. There's egos in that dressing room that are playing for themselves. Yeah. That creates a tsunami of problems, that, mate.
Do you know what? When you talk about this, I mean, there's deeper issues here, because when you talk about that May 1st issue of handing letters out or whatever, telling people they're not one, do we need to kind of change that to the end of the season? Because, the season finishes October and starts in February. There's plenty of time for signings, players to be signed.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. All I know is that I think
a kind of transfer window type thing for like having football where
maybe.
Why May the 1st was 6 weeks into a season?
Don't know, mate. I don't know. But
about 9 weeks into a season. But it just seems really, really early to tell a player that they're not wanted next year.
100%, mate. I'm with you. It's disrupt. I mean, when you think we're a third of the way through the season, it's going to cause disruption. But the argument is it'll cause disruption in most camps. But for teams that manage the squads well, maybe less disruption. But I mean, for example, going back to Paolo last year, 20 players. Hull FC's got it this year. Yeah, when you've got all of those players, that's going to cause you problems a third of the way through the season.
Of course it is. And players can react in one or two ways. They can start putting a shift in. Start putting a shift in to get picked up by another team, or they can take the ball in and refuse to perform for a team that doesn't want them.
No, mate.
I just think does that need change? Is that another thing we need to change? Is it another way the sport's shooting itself in the foot? May the 1st, the season starts February. So what's that? That's about 8-9 weeks into the season. And you're already telling players you don't want them next season.
There's in our sport, there's too many. There's too many with self-interest in our sport. It's like the bench, innit? I looked at this week's episode of the bench with our friend Mr. Wilkin, Jamie Jones Buchanan, and Gareth Ellis. And he starts the programme by saying, "Welcome to the bench," actually, which has very little to do with rugby league. The whole point of that is rugby league.
Yeah.
And then he start talking about all stuff that isn't rugby league. Like, come on, do me a
I
favour.
mean, you're lucky to get John Wilkin to stop talking about his bakery for 10
His
minutes.
bakery, yeah, and all the amount of put. I'll tell you what, mate, he's getting free advertising. Anyway, that's another story. Better be careful. He'll have us in
Yeah, we better be careful. We might be in
Better
court.
be careful. Yeah, better be careful. He'll have us. But anyway,
Other baked goods are available.
Absolutely. Andy and Sue, that's the problem. Casper, big numbers, either out of contract or not wanted due to the age. Good evening, Andy and Sue. Hello. We'll get to Castleford in a bit. Back to the Albert Goldthorpe. Jez Litton picking up 3 points in this one. 2
Didn't
for
Jez
Ryan
Litton
Hall.
go to fullback?
No, he went in. It was Lewis that went to fullback.
Was it?
It was.
Fullback?
Yeah, Ryan Hall got 2 points, and Matthew Parcell, to his mummy and daddy, got 1 point. So congratulations to them. 1 and all right. Let's get into the next game then. Here we go. Let's get on with it. Here it is. Where are we going next? Oh, the excitement. Here it comes. It's Leeds. It's Leeds against Salford. Well, I have to say, congratulations to Salford. A superb performance. I mean, I'm led to believe this was another really assured and dominating display by the Red Devils.
Watching the highlights, it's incredible.
Yeah.
But is it surprising? It's an incredible performance, but Salford again aren't getting the credit they deserve.
No, you're right, mate.
You're right, mate. They're not getting the credit they deserve, and we can sometimes be a little bit guilty of not thinking past the Saints, the Wiggins, and the Leeds, and thinking that they're going to dominate every game. And when a little bit of snobbery, perhaps, that when they come up against the Salfords and the Lees, it's going to be a one-sided affair. Yeah. Salford and Lee and other teams like that deserve massive credit.
They do, mate. They do. And that's who deserves credit, mate. It was in the tries of the round. Sam Stone, beautiful. Look at the strength here. Come on, Sammy, lad.
Power.
Go on, lad. Get out of the way. Beautiful stuff.
And
beautiful.
Another one that they picked up from under the radar and is they just have a habit of doing this.
Yeah, good D. This great D. Williams there, brilliant tackle.
Yeah,
brilliant tackle. But I mean, arguably the try of the game was the Leeds try. Very well executed. It's going to come.
Is this the Myler try?
The Myler try. I'll tell you the thing, mate. What Sneed had a stellar game, perfect with the boot yet again. But what is Sneed doing here? If he doesn't go for the penalty and actually tackles the man, he saves a try. When I watched this, I'm like, Sneedy, mate, what you doing here?
It's him, yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean,
I must admit, there were that many obstructions here. I thought I was watching American football.
What's Sneed here now? All Sneed's got to do is tackle. Look, it's Myler. What are you doing? Silly.
It was like watching American football.
Mate, crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy. With the exception of that decision, Sneed was exceptional on the night. Absolutely exceptional.
He didn't get a card for that, did he? Or did he? No. I can't remember.
I don't believe he did.
I think he should have done.
Possibly.
I think he should have got a card for that. There was cards for less this week.
Yeah, no. I'm seeing you. I'm feeling you. I know what you're saying. But yeah, no. I mean, like I say, he had a stellar game, but that decision to go for the penalty, not actually tackle Myler.
Is this Jack Smith refereeing?
Yeah, and I'd have backed him. It is Jack Smith. I'd have backed
he had a good game.
Nice try. Bentley, mate. Again, a try and an assist for Bentley in this game, mate. Again, Bentley's doing his bit. You've got to give him his due.
Yeah,
he is doing his bit.
Isn't Bentley out of contract at the end of this year?
Most certainly. Yeah, that's knowledge. That's knowledge.
I think he is.
Yeah, you're spot on. You're spot on. And here's one for you. Yeah, Leeds Rhinos fans. Penalty count 10-3. Ouch. You're not going to win many games if you're 10-3 on the penalty count. We saw it.
No, and most of those were in Leeds territory as well.
It was. So I think Paul Rowley. I think was it this game where I can't remember. There was a game. I'm trying to remember, and it was something like they only had 7 play the balls in the second half in the opposition's half. Can't remember which game that was.
I can't remember which game that was.
It was a good stat though. It was a good stat. Anyway, the Albert Goldthorpe. 3 for Brodie Croft, of course. 3 for Brodie Croft. 2 for Shane Wright. Another one.
Shane Wright is just, he's a hell of a player, Shane Wright.
He is, mate. He's having a great season.
And
And
go on, sorry, go on.
One for Harry Newman. Go on, mate. Talk about Shane Wright. One for Harry Newman.
But when we talk about Salford and we don't give them the credit deserved, they've got they pick up signings that Stone, Wright, Croft. They just pick up these players and they're real good players, and you've got to give them credit for that. You have to.
100%. Well, last week you were quite scathing on Paul Rowley because he was a little bit. He's a small club and this, that, the other. Yeah. Maybe this will warm your heart. We want to keep evolving. And if we continue to grow on and off the field, we can achieve anything. We've got a really good group of players and staff. Well done, Mr. Rowley.
And I think that was a result of having his wrist slapped, I think.
Yeah, he might have heard you, mate. He might have heard you.
Oh, nothing to do with me.
He might be a secret Super League Raw fan.
But all I know is if I was chairman of a club and I heard my boss say, my coach say that, I'd be having a quiet word on Monday morning saying, "Oi."
Well, God love Linda Bloomson, because she said it was the Castleford team that only had 7 play the balls in Lee's half. Where are we going next? We are going to...
Oh, thank you for that.
Warrington, yes. Here comes Warrington. Yeah. So, some great tries, starting here with... This is lovely from
This is a lovely try from Pulis. Interesting to see that Matt Duffy was dropped.
He was dropped, and Powell confirmed that in the post-game interview.
As I think we discussed last week.
We did indeed.
Duffy should be dropped.
And Pulis, well, he didn't die wondering, did he? That was a great try from Pulis. Yeah. And then this little one, and again, James Harrison. We're big fans of James Harrison. He's really starting to come good. This is lovely for him. I mean, you could argue, should have
gone himself.
Yeah, but should he be able to get through this easily? But this is a great run. Bang, get out of the way. That's Matty Ashurst that he's just put on the floor there.
And a great ball from Maguire. Now, Maguire's been taking a lot of flack from Warrington fans. Yeah. But Maguire puts a hard shift in.
Yeah.
I mean, Warrington fans were a little bit frustrated that we didn't put 50, 60 past Wakefield, but they played really well.
Mate, Wakefield were outstanding.
It was nothing to do with Warrington being off the boil. Wakefield played really well.
Yeah, Tanginoa was back. The duel between him and Ratchford was fascinating to watch. Yeah. I mean, they both give as good as they got. Tanginoa getting this try. Credit there to Morgan Smith for his. It was a great try.
He had a great game.
He did. Jai Whitbread. Matty Ashurst got his traditional try at the Halliwell Jones. He likes to try at the
He always scores against us.
He does. That's a lovely ball. Great from Tanginoa. Get in. And at this point, Warrington, they're in trouble. We were there. This game was an arm wrestle, and then, of course, this happens with Josh Pulis, where Proctor does him. Bang.
I mean, that was a red card, and that was a ban. I'm afraid it was a horrific tackle.
It was a bad one, and that changed the whole game. From there on in, Warrington were never going to lose this game.
No.
They weren't. I mean,
the red card solely. It was like a behind the sofa moment. I was thinking Wakefield are going to win this.
Absolutely.
And then Proctor gets sent off, and big raps to Wakefield. They've had a couple of good games before the international break.
Do you know what, mate? Nice try there from Matty Ashton. If I knew right now here today, as we do this show, that Morgan Smith was going to be halfback against Hull, I'd back him. I think a win's coming. But if he makes the decision to put Gale, which I think he will, into the halves, Hull win that game.
I mean, that was poor tackling. That was weak tackling. But they're down to 12 men.
Yeah, they were
ignore this rubbish about Warrington being undercooked or whatever. Wakefield played bloody well.
They were fantastic.
They were fantastic.
They were fantastic.
Massive amounts of credit.
Yeah,
and they're not getting the credit because I think they ran Wigan close the week before the international break.
They did, mate.
And everybody was saying Wigan were undercooked and Wigan had their eyes on, or Wigan players had their eyes on the England game. Stop that. They played well.
I have done. Absolutely.
Well. I give them credit.
Steve Carley saying Tafur played well. I agree with that. He was good coming out of his own.
Who was that? Sorry,
Jorg Tafur.
Yeah, that was who I was thinking of. Yeah,
he had a good game. The reason I paused this, it's worth to be paused. Matty Ashton just signed a contract extension till 2026. All Warrington fans are delighted. This lad is box office. This is a great try. What I draw your attention to here is in a minute he's going to have a triangle formula. Here is the triangle. straight through it. Goodbye. There's another one. See you, Mr. Dagger. Outstanding stuff.
Yeah. Imagine
from
how many
Matty
tries he
Ashton.
would score if he had a centre who'd pass to him.
Mate, what a
He'd be
what a
top of the
great try.
It'd be miles ahead. I mean, we got rid of Toby King to Huddersfield and Wigan because apparently he couldn't pass to his winger.
Now, mate, he's the offload
Stefan
master.
Ratchford doesn't pass to him either.
Yeah, he's the offload master now. Right, Albert Goldthorpe for this game. 3 for Josh Fewlis, no arguments. I thought Fewlis was exceptional. 2 for George Williams, can't argue with that. And do you know what? I'm delighted about this. It'd have been very easy to give a point to Matty Ashton. They did the right thing. They gave it to Jai Whitbread. Absolutely the right thing to do. Whitbread was immense.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Absolutely immense. I'm telling you now, 25 years of age, Wakey are probably going to go down. There is going to be a queue with checkbooks to sign Jai Whitbread. He was outstanding, mate. Incredible.
And Tafua, is it Tafua?
Tafua, mate. Whitbread, out of this world. Right, we move on. Let's get into this one. This is going to be the wonderful Lee Leopards up the roar. Here they come. It started really well.
Crowd a little bit.
Yes, it was. It was the worst crowd of the season thus far. Maybe that.
Speaking of which, I know this is the Lee Castleford game, but something else that was discussed on Total Rugby League today, either today or yesterday, calling for Thursday night TV games to be local derbies only to make it look good on TV.
Completely agree. Good try for
we've been banging on about for since we started doing this.
That's in the same bracket as Sam Stones. Great strength from Westerman. That's as good as it got for Castleford. From there on in, it was all about Lee. Congratulations to Ben Reynolds here. Ben Reynolds.
This is a good try.
Reynolds had a great game. 5 from 5 with a boot. Got himself a try. Played really well. Widdett, mate. Widdett back in the arms. Broadbent back into centres. I'm sorry, I'm not convinced. Andy and Sue, what's your thoughts on this?
I'm not sure that wasn't a knock on there from Lee.
Probably was. Andy and Sue saying it's all about survival. Andy and Sue, should Widdett be playing fullback? Should Broadbent be in the centres to give you a little bit of pace and a little bit of
That was Mulhern, wasn't it? That was a great
That was Mulhern. Good run from Robert. And then, of course, quick out to the line. Lachlan Lamb again. I mean, look at Lamb's here, though. Look at Lamb. Look back at it. That's beautiful stuff. Head on, 1 minute he's got his hands on his head. Next minute, look at this. Have a bit of that. Beautiful. Go on, Lachlan Lamb.
Yeah.
Class.
That is class.
Class. Absolute class. Oh, mate. I'm loving Lee. I know it shouldn't, but I am.
Slightly forward pass there, but
slightly. But I am. And me and you are going 3 weeks time. We're there at the Lee Sportsville. I can't wait. I just can't wait. Can't wait to go to Lee. Lee fans, come and say hello to us. Can't wait. Loving Lee.
As long as you let us win, Lee fans, it'll be all right.
As long as you let us win, but loving what you're doing. Loving what you're doing. Look at this. And Ricky Latelli, I think Latelli got his first try. That was the Lamb kick through, wasn't it? Here it is.
Yeah.
This is his first try for the club. Congratulations to Ricky.
Yeah, again.
Better Hoardings than Warrington. Clearly, they didn't go through.
That was awful the other week, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Imagine a footballer. They'd have been out for 6 months.
Gas are there, mate. Alex Sharp saying you won't enjoy it. I think Alex is already tipping Lee to beat the Wire in a few weeks' time. Do you know what, Alex?
Wouldn't be surprised.
You know what? And if they do, they'll probably play some very attractive rugby and they'll probably deserve it. And me and Greg will be the first to pat them on the back, mate. Don't you worry about that. In terms of the Albert Goldthorpe medals for this one, let's get into it. Lachlan Lamb getting another 3 points. But that takes him second now. That takes him second. Yeah. Actually, let me check that. Does that put him second? Let me just check it. Oh, we've got time. Where are you? It does. It puts him five points. 5 points behind George Williams. He's out on his own in second. Lachlan Lamb, fully deserving. Number 2 points for Tom Amone and 1 for Kane Robb. Disappointing. Very disappointing. He's quality.
He's ripping it up.
Mate, we've had him in lots of teams, team of the weeks. I feel for Robbie Mulhern not getting the credit he deserves. This was Rob Mulhern's best game yet, I have to say.
From what we've seen,
we have a new watcher. Well, I've not seen him in the chat before. I'm sorry, Paul, if you do watch us every week.
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Paul. Lee fan here. Casted a bad turnout. Probably only 200 Cast fans. Fair play. Comes back.
Was it a Friday night game?
Was Friday. Yeah.
You're not going to be coming over the Pennines on a Friday night on the M62. I'm sorry.
You're right, mate.
If you're not on TV,
that
you
game
play
gets played on a
Saturday or
Saturday.
Sunday.
It gets played on a Saturday. It's 8,000.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
But this is
Saturday or
again.
Sunday. If you're not on TV, the week before, the following week, you play a Saturday or a Sunday. I'm sorry, you can't have, Warrington going to Hull coming to Warrington on on a Friday night. I'm getting emotional on a Friday night. It's not going to happen, is it? We need to start showing the world that people support this game and show grounds that are full.
Linda's saying that they're waiting for the stage announcement for The Wire. Who do we want? A bit of pulp would be lovely. Anyway, a bit of jar. Anyway, let's get into the final game.
Maybe we could invite Jarve down on the Friday night to Hull. Sorry.
The Jarve. Right. Let's just say it as it was. Catalan dominated Saints. Don't let the 12-0 fool you. 2 tries against the run of play. Congratulations to Alex Walmsley. A stellar performance on his return. Lovely try for Wellesby. Completely against the run of play. From minute 1 to minute 80, Catalan dominated them.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Didn't they? Fact.
Yeah.
Brilliant performance from Catalan. But again, you don't hear that.
Some great defence from Saints as well. They defended well that first half.
Yeah.
Apart from towards the end. I think McNamara's team talk before they went out was that ball's behind you, lads.
Right, Makinson should be playing. He's clearly carrying a knot. I feel for Benison. Wellens again came into criticism after this game. It's the flip-flopping in terms of 1 week they're supporting him, the next they're not. The only thing that I would question at the moment, but I don't believe Tommy Makinson is 100% fit. Why Benison wouldn't be playing, considering the form of Benison, I don't know. Exactly. I think that's the only thing from the outside looking in that I would criticise. You've got to give Wellens time. You really do. I tell you what, after this game, they were calling for Dodd to be dropped. Saints fans.
They're a different breed.
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable.
They're a different breed.
Arthur Morg, beautiful. Here we go. Come on, Arthur lad. We like a bit of Arthur Morg.
He's a great player. He's a great player, mate. We talk about him for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
He's absolutely superb, and I think they've got to give. He's out of contract, isn't he? They've got to give him a long-term deal. He's the heir apparent to Tompkins. He's got to play Tompkins at fullback.
Yeah. Last mate.
Yeah,
and this also, if I'm a Saints fan, I'm disgusted because it's one thing, Proctor. As a fan, it's a game of inches. It's a quick game. Head-high tackles happen. You just live with it. Well done to Rick Avaro here, by the way, on his debut. Really good.
Yeah, did really well.
But while I'm on this chain of thought, your team aren't playing well, and you're going for 10 because you've swore at a referee. As a Saints fan, I'm not happy about. As good as Conrad Hall has been playing this season for Saints, certainly in attack.
And do you know what? If I was St Helens, I know he didn't get a ban, but I'd tell him, you're sitting a game out for that, mate. You're sitting a game out because we can't have that in our game.
Yeah.
And let's have some internal discipline from. I mean, that wasn't a yellow card as far as I'm concerned.
No, I didn't think
that was a great tackle. A great.
We're in the first one. It was the second one where he goes down and he's on the floor and he catches his face. It's, you can take a view. But
I mean, another one where he.
It was a good. The first contact. He actually said it to him. Your first contact was fine. It was whilst he was on the floor and he went for number 2. He caught his face. It was contact with the head, and that's what he got it for.
That's ridiculous.
It's soft. But coming back to your point over Hurrell, we've seen Darryl Powell just do it with Matt Duffy. There's times where you've got to put, and he'll come back better for it, Conrad Hall. It's got to be lovely cut-out ball there. Good defence.
The defence. Say what you like about Saints. The defence. This could have been 30 or 40 for Catalan. But
100%, mate.
Superb.
The scoreline flattered Saints. Flattered them.
It's a sign of a good team if you dominated for almost 80 minutes and only lose by 12 points.
And you know what? It's right that you say that because that shows the quality team that St Helens are. But you've got to, this is the thing. We praise Saints when they beat Warrington. We thought they were outstanding against Warrington. So this isn't Saint bashing, but the bottom line is in this game they were dominated by a better side on the night. Simple as that.
And we still get our close up of Roby.
Absolutely. And you know what? Credit to our Cherry and White fans. We know they like to leave grounds early. But that said, what I would say about our Wigan supporters, you went on their social media pages after that Hull game I would say 80 to 90% of the posts that I read were congratulatory of Hull.
Yeah.
Credit to him for that.
Yeah.
You know, there's credit to him for that. You can't blame referees all the time. Sorry.
Referee had a good game, I thought.
He did, mate.
Had a decent game.
He did, mate. I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's Liam Moore, isn't it? You know, we sometimes criticise him for being a bit too.
I'm going to be controversial.
Go on. Yeah. Go on.
Catalan players will know where the cameras are.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way on this earth Tom Davies is this fast, but it isn't caught in the shot. If you look at where Ikavaru is there and his shadow, there's no look at the shadow of Davies there. So if you look at the shadows on the ground, look at Ikavaru's shadow.
If you're right, mate. If you're right, that's very clever.
I am right, but here we go. I'm going to pause it now. There's the shadow as Davies.
Yeah.
Go back. Just look at the shadows. There is no way that Tom Davies would have been onside at the point of that kick. There's no way. Looking at the shadows on the ground, there's no way. He's not that quick. I'm sorry. However, it is what it is.
Look where the linesman is. Oh, sorry, the assistant referee. Yeah. 3 yards behind.
We're over reliant on the TV, mate.
Yeah, and the on-field try or no try, which should be got rid of.
You said it. Bringing the captain's challenge, it'll make referees better.
Bringing captain's challenge, get rid of try no try. Yeah. And the thing for me is, get a camera along the try line, because there are several tries this week that went to the screen where you could argue the ball wasn't grounded on the line and they didn't have a camera along the line. If you have to have the ball on or over the line, where's the most sensible place to put the camera?
Right. Alex Sharp, this one's for you. Stop the season now!
Stop it now. Give us a hubcap. Send us to Old Trafford, where we'll lose to, I don't know, Hull KR.
After he goaded us last week. Fair play to him. That one's for you, Alex. Oh, is that Alex? Who was it then? It wasn't Alex. Who was it last week? Well, I can't remember who it was, but somebody last week.
See, it was a week before because we didn't have...
Yeah, it was.
It was a couple of weeks ago because it was about 3 weeks ago because we weren't top of the league.
That's right. And somebody was giving us. I'm sorry, Alex. I thought it was you. Anyway, but yeah, anyway, there's the league table. Warrington go back top. What's the 1 point difference? It couldn't be.
I'm getting a nosebleed.
1860. The Robins. You know, hey, look at that. I mean, it would take a decent win, but the Robins could overtake the Wire this weekend. It could happen. They're playing great rugby league. Dragons cementing themselves in there. Red Devils. Lee Leopards 6th. Yeah. Outstanding.
Look at that top 6. Look at that top 6. OKR, Red Devil, Salford, and Lee.
It's great. Brilliant. It's great for the sport, mate. It's great for the sport. It's probably the first season for. You know, I'm not comparing us to the NRL, so don't shoot me down, people who are watching. But the good thing about the NRL is it's competitive.
Yeah.
This season is
unless you're West Tigers.
But even West Tigers have got a couple of good scalps this year. But this is competitive, really. And do you know what? If I'm a Castleford Tigers fan, based on what I saw on Friday, if they're not careful, they're going to be dragged right into a relegation scrap with Wakey. I'm really looking forward to the week where Cass and Wakey go head to head, because that is going to be very interesting.
It'll be at Wakefield, won't it? Because I think we played at Cass.
In fact, when is that? Come on, I'll tell you what. While I'm looking at that, should we do Team of the Week?
I think we should, sir.
Let's do Team of the Week, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the Team of the Week from round number 11. Here we go. It's the Team of the Week for round number 11. Here we go again at fullback. Well, shocked faces at Halliwell Jones as Josh Fewlis was preferred at fullback by Darryl Powell for the visit of Trinity. But 11 minutes into the game, Fewlis had 2 tries that were superb and Powell was vindicated at number 2. Oh, this would have hurt the Saints faithful that a Wigan lad had the last laugh in Perpignan. Tom Davies was fantastic with a brilliant brace and he sent the champions home packing. Number 3, And on debut for both Catalan and Super League World Team of the Week is Marta Cavaru. A lovely try and assist on a very impressive debut. With Kieran now in the centres, the Dragons look very good indeed in the three quarters. At number 4, another import making his second appearance of the season is Tom Opashik. Brilliant yet again. And who would have thought that Jake Connor would have had a game of pass the parcel on his own goal line, of which Tom Opashik unwrapped the try superbly. At number 5, having debuted for his country, signed a contract extension, Matty Ashton sealed a glorious week with 2 tries against Trinity. His second was a show of class, speed and quality. And number 6 is he's now a hat-trick of appearances for George Williams. The Man of Steel contender will have surely added more points to his tally. He was absolutely on centre stage at number 7. Well, with every appearance, it's hard not to be impressed with Jake Clifford. He's fast becoming a real force for the Black and White. His speed and thought for the Macintosh try was unbelievable. Wigan really did suffer on the night. At number 8, yet another lead forward has made the Team of the Week, and this time it's in the shape of Rob Mulhern. Showing his form from last year, his carries of destruction were catastrophic for the Castleford Tigers. At number 9, welcome back, Danny Houghton. It has been a while, sir. Over the past few weeks, Houghton has got back on his front foot, showing that age is just a number, and this man surely knows how to tackle. Outstanding, 52. At number 10, well, back after a long layoff, is Alex Walmsley, who reminded all the other props in Super League who the governor really is. The only real positive for the Saints on a night of mediocrity. At number 11, one of the most astute signings of the Willie Peters era has been James Batchelor. He's no longer in his brother's shadow and can only get better. This was a contribution that could just not be ignored. At number 12, well, it has to be, doesn't it? The man with the golden shun. No one can catch him. No tiger could match him for his $1 million flair. A golden try left another poor victim coming to a glittering end. Oh, well played, Mr. O'Donnell. And number 13, Willie Peters played tribute to Elliot Minchella's improving form at the end of the demolition of Huddersfield. Minchella has always been respected here at Super League Raw, and it's great to see him back to his best form. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Team of the Week for round number 11. Round number 11's Team of the Week back in, well, it's in the record books. There it is. It's there for all to see. Reggie, what do you make of our Team of the Week this week?
Was that a nod to the man with the golden gun?
It was a nod to Lulu. I thought you'd pick up on that one. Absolutely. A little bit of Bond coming in. The man with the golden shun. Love it. Absolutely love it. You couldn't write it, could you?
But yeah, you just did.
I did. Three wires, three Hull. Three Hull.
Yeah, Jai Whitbread was unlucky a little bit, I think.
He was very close, but you had to, Walmsley, what, 7 weeks out.
Yeah, Mickey Lewis.
He was outstanding.
Mickey Lewis.
But
no arguments whatsoever.
He was Alex Sharp. Alex Sharp was, by the way, Alex Sharp was the one who was upset that we didn't say stop the season now. I misread it. So, Alex, that was for you. Go on.
I think Ikavavu could well be signing of the season.
Mate, him and Kieran, mate, in the three quarters for Catalan. Arguably, I mean, at the start of the season, we were looking at the Wardle King one going, that could be interesting. We were looking at the Garment and Masters and going, that one could be interesting. Yeah. All of a sudden, with this signing, Catalan have got
Ikavavu, Kieran with the wingers outside.
Dare to say, mate, the backfield with Morgan full back with his pace, that is now a frightening back line. Frightening. So you're spot on, mate. You're absolutely spot on.
Could well be the signing of the season.
Could well be. Right, here it is. Oh, Reggie lad. Second. Oh, look at this.
Stop the season now.
He's come from nowhere.
Wow.
Look at this. Reggie on the week with a magnificent 14 points. Really doing very, very well. Gary Schofield got 8 and the Fans Forum and I got 6. It couldn't be tighter. I did say, look at when Wakey was playing Cass. It's a long way off. The 20th of August is when Wakey played Cass. That could be a massive game if Cass doesn't improve in time. Right, we now come to the part of the show where we're going to do some predictions, kicking off, of course, with this little beauty. Wakefield taking on Hull FC. We were impressed with Wakey. Like I said, for me personally, if I knew right now he was going to go with the same team against Hull, I'd be debating a 1-8 Wakey win. I genuinely would. Because of the pitch, because of what we saw on Friday, this could just be that game. However, I do think he's going to pick Luke Gale. And that, for me, if he does, I think it's going to be his Achilles heel. The Fans Forum and Gary Schofield are going 9-17 Hull FC. And on the decision that I think he's going to make, that Luke Gale will play, I'm actually going to go exactly the same way. I'm going to go FC 9-17. Where are you going, mate?
I watched Wakefield and I was impressed with them.
Yeah.
I saw the highlights of them against Wigan, and I was impressed with them. And a couple of times this season, they've come very close and just fallen away. I think Hull will be absolutely buoyed by that win against Wigan. Yeah. And I think Hull are going to win 18+.
Ooh, that's a biggie. The only thing for me, and forgive me, Hull FC fans, because we've just given you massive raps for your win over Wigan, it'd just be like Hull to go and have a shocker.
It would be, but the Tony Smith, I think they've turned that corner with Tony Smith now.
Yeah, all right, mate. I'm not arguing with you, Chief. I'm not.
I could be 100% wrong, and Wakefield.
We could all be wrong.
70-0, but
yeah,
I think Hull. I think it'll be an arm wrestle for 50, 60 minutes.
Super.
And I think Hull, that defence they showed against Wigan, they've got to Hull. And I'm sorry, Wakefield fans.
Yeah,
Hull have got to build on that. I've got to.
Well, these are the squads, and no real major for either team, really.
Yeah.
I think mate. When you can think about it, credit to Hull and credit to Tony Smith and the fact that their defence was shocking a few weeks back, but what they showed against Wigan was just a different level. Kobe McGill was saying FC by 14. John Wilkinson's in the chat. He's going FC 6-14. We'll call that 9-17. Wakey just win for Paul Boardman. Freddie McGilvey going 1-8 in the way of FC. No love for Wakey, but let me tell you now, based on what we saw on Friday, Wakey's win is not far away.
Don't be fooled by people saying Warrington weren't at the races.
No, Wakey were good.
Wakey were good.
Yeah.
Wakey were good.
Yeah, and I'm looking down the list of Wakey games now. They've got Hull, then they're away to Catalan. That's a tricky fixture. Then they've got Lee at Magic. That could be a belter.
That could be a great game.
That could be a belter, that. Leeds then at home, and then Hull Carve away. Not an easy run of fixtures for them. But like I say,
difficult to see where they're going to pick a win up there.
Like I said, really that league game could be a big game.
Leeds is a crucial one, yeah.
Okay, we now move to Huddersfield taking on the Lee Leopards. Right, get in the chat. What you think's going to happen here? In terms of, we know Theo Farge missing still no Ollie Russell. Ash Golden, of course, still out. Joe Greenwood still out. Lee, as you were. So Lee, no trouble, nothing at all for them. They go in form. It has to be said. Lee Leopards, of course. Here we go. Sit down. You might fall over when I tell you this, but in case you've missed it, 3 in a row. 3 in a row, Lee Leopards. And just in case you're thinking, how good have they been? In those 3 games, they have conceded 12 points.
Yeah.
There's one for you. 12 points. They've scored, again, sit down. This is Lee Leopards. They have scored 82 points. Lee deserve so much credit. It's unbelievable what they're doing. Outstanding. So much so. So I'll bring you in a minute, mate. Much so. Gary Schofield, 9-17 to the Lee Leopards. The Fans Forum, 9-17, the Lee Leopards. Me, 9-17, the Lee Leopards. Where are you going, Greg?
Can Huddersfield players as I didn't see the game, but from what you see of it, Huddersfield had an absolute mare. My big fear for Huddersfield fans is that they're having as much trouble winning at home as they are away.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Um,
100%.
And I think Lee have learned from that season a couple of years ago where they pushed the big team so close and then just seemed to lose it in the last 10 minutes. And I think Lee 9-17 as well. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
fans.
yeah,
I
yeah,
genuinely do think Lee are
yeah.
going to win.
Mate, I think Lee, in some respects, Lee now can take the shackles off. They're safe in Super League. They're not going anywhere. They can just go and enjoy the Rugby League. Because already, you know, the Up the Roar Brigade, the Lee Leopards fans, you know, they think it's Christmas Day. There's
Yeah.
nothing to worry about.
There's
Just go and
nothing
play
more
rugby,
dangerous. Nothing more dangerous than a team that's got nothing to lose.
mate. And as far as they're concerned now, they can. The team talk's easy for Adrian Lamb. Lads, go out there, express yourself, go and enjoy your Rugby League. Just go and enjoy yourself.
Win or lose, it doesn't matter.
Exactly, outstanding.
We're in Super
Paul
League next
Boardman.
season.
Paul Boardman's going 30 points plus. I'm presuming that's for Lee.
Ooh, that's a big
shout.
call.
Big shout.
That's a big call.
Kobe McGilvey, Giants by 12. Graham Parrish, Huddersfield by 8. Alex Sharp. If Huddersfield lose, I think they pull the plug on Watson.
Well, that's a big call.
Yeah.
You know, Huddersfield really, really do need to win this more than Lee do.
Yeah.
And I think that is what swings it in Lee's favour.
When you see Uncle Freddie going Lee 1-8, you know he's worried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really interesting stuff. Andy Hewitt going 18 plus Lee. John Wilkinson 4-10 Lee. A lot of love for Lee in the room tonight. And you know what? Absolutely deserving. Lee have been a breath of fresh air. Long may it continue. Just not in 3 weeks.
Although Vossi's not impressed with the kit.
Who cares? Who cares? You know, they can't do any wrong for me. Right, this is for dear Lord. Bad news for Cass. Greg Eden being out. That's a massive hammer blow for Castleford.
He gets the ball, he scores a try, Greg Eden.
Yeah, that's a big blow.
Yeah.
Liam Watts is a doubt. Catalan, no concerns. They've finally got with the exception of Tyrone May, who's still out. Maybe they're back to full strength. They're back in. Very dangerous indeed. I'm still not convinced whether it should be in the halves. Andy Hewitt's going Cass 8 plus. Alex Sharp straight in. He's going Catalan.
Cass.
Alex Sharp, Catalan 18 plus. John Wilkinson, Catalan 14 plus. I'm going Catalan 18 plus. I'm going straight in. I just think. I'm sorry, Cass fans. Both the Forum and Gary Schofield going 9-17 to the Dragons. I'm going 18 plus. I think they'll do them and do them well. Where are you going, mate?
Depends what the weather's like.
Okay, I'll have a look at the forecast.
Now, don't look on the BBC website because that's never been right for 40 years. I'm going Catalans 18 plus, not because I agree with you, but
Good Lord, no.
Good Lord, no. But I just think that they're too powerful, Catalan. I'm sorry, Catalan fans, I really am. I just think Catalans are just too powerful.
The younger, the fitter.
Artemog, the two senses now, as we've spoken about. The pack is bigger.
I'm sorry, Cass fans, but
yeah,
you know, if you go down to the jungle today, I don't think you're going to have a big surprise. But anyway, let's move on. All right.
I almost gave up drinking then.
All right. It's now time for the game of the week. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. The Super League Raw game of the week. one is going to be an absolute belter. There is just no doubt about it. The Super League Raw game of the week, Warrington Wolves against Hull KR. For those who have a memory, this was incredibly tight at Craven Park earlier in the season. I think after about 46 minutes, Frankie Holton went in to really get the team within 2 points. And only in the last minute did Paul Vaughan seal the win for the Warrington Wolves. This is going to be sensational. This is a Hull KR team, ladies and gentlemen, who are now on a 6. Let me say that again, a 6-game winning streak. They're in incredible form. They're going to the wire, league leaders, top try scorers. Oh, this is good. I can't wait. This is going to be a belter. This is on Friday
you
night.
know what? This, for me, is a test of how far Warrington have come. Forget Wigan, forget Saints, because those games, they're like Liverpool United, they're like Manchester derbies, they're like North East derbies. They can go either way. Form goes out the window when it's Saints, when it's Warrington Saints, Wigan Saints, those games. This, for me, is the big test of how far Warrington have come. And 4 or 5 weeks ago, I would say Warrington would win this easily. But I'm going to go Hull KR 9-17.
Ooh, Reggie's backing against his team.
And that hurts me to do that. Yeah. But I think this is the test for Warrington.
It's going to be a great game. Mate,
it's going to be. I hope I'm. Forgive me, Hull KR fans. I hope I'm 100% wrong on this, and I will take the hits. But I think Hull KR will win this, and I think they'll win 9-17.
Mate, it's a big call. I'm going wire 1 to 8. I think it's going to be tight. I really do think it's going to be tight. I'm going to go wire to 1 to 8.
And I very rarely back against Warrington.
You very rarely do. The fans' form have gone wire 1 to 8 as well. Yes, they have, as has Gary Schofield. So we're seeing it tight. You're seeing it the other way to KR. You may be right. All I can say is I think this is going to be a belting game. I think this is going to be a belter. I really do.
You got Ryan Hall up against. It'll be Josh Thulis because I think.
No, what I think.
Russell failed his HIA.
No, he didn't. He come back on. Nobody failed their HIAs, mate.
You're right.
Nobody failed. Nobody failed them.
So, I think I was on my 5th Peroni by that point. So
exactly, steady on. So, and the way Fulis
do you think he'll play Russell?
I think he'll leave it. The way Fulis played 2 tries, very assured. It's a brave man who says Josh Fulis you dropped. Did Josh Fulis deserve to be dropped after?
No, I would say put Fulis on the wing and have Duffy back at fullback.
Possibly, but then you're losing the Matty Russell coming out of his own line. Mate, it's going to be fascinating. I mean, Duffy's been in great form, but he's going to have to work his way back into the side. He'll at least be on the bench. There's no question about that. But for me,
I'm worried about this. I'm worried about this game. I really am.
Oh, absolutely. Will Daz Clark be fit in time? Word on the street, he's 50-50. Dudson obviously is out. The big plus in this for Warrington is that Coote is now out. So not only are they going to be missing Jordan Abdul, they're now missing Lachlan Coote.
Well, does that mean they put Jez Litton or Mickey Lewis at fullback?
I don't think you can afford to put Mickey Lewis at fullback. I think you've got to put him in the halves.
Might be Jez Litton then.
And the problem with the announcement that happened tonight, the logical decision at fullback would be Sam Wood, who has been told he's surplus to requirements. So actually, this is a fascinating game in that respect for OKR. Yeah. And that's why I've gone Warrington. I think had Abdul and Lewis have played, this could, for me, and you could be right, by the way, don't get me wrong. Do you know what? I'd be really tempted, based on 6 in a row, to back KR. The fact that they lost Coote, that's big for me, and that's why I'm just going to.
The thing is with OKR, and it's been a factor for a couple of seasons now. They've lost important players and brought players in, and they've still put in a great performance. Last season, when Mikey Lewis, Abdul was out for a long time last season, so was Mikey Lewis. Jez Litton was out. They just seem to have this bounce back ability that no injury seems too great for them.
Spot on, mate. What I would say is, in the same way that Warrington went to Saints, to an understrength Saints, and quite frankly, mentally, for whatever reason, just arrogance, I don't know.
Mate, that night Saints could have put an under
Shocking.
11s team out and still beaten us.
Yeah, I mean, that was attitude. That was wrong.
Exactly.
But this game, in a similar type of way, as you quite rightly say, in terms of a marker, you know, they're coming up against a team with two of their big strike players, and don't get me wrong, they've still got quality throughout. I mean, Rowan Milnes played really well at the weekend. We've talked about Jez Litton, we've talked about Mikey Lewis, you know, we've talked about Matt Parcell. They've got quality players. Ryan Hall, their pack, the recruitment they've done in the pack, very similar to Warrington's going into the new season. They've got quality throughout the side. Some opposite, you know, you could go on. This is a game.
Chella's playing well.
100%, mate. And that's why the first game between these two was fascinating. It couldn't have been closer. And I think this one is going to be the same. And that's why it's team of the week. And game of the week. And who'd have thought it'd have been game of the week? And again, it goes to show what a great season we've got. That is game of the week and not this one. That goes to show where we're at this season. Because in any other season, we're saying our game of the week is Wigan Warriors.
And yet
Leeds
this is
Rhinos.
still a TV game.
Yeah. And it's going to be a good game because what we've learned about Leeds this year, they will get up for this. They got up for Saints and they got up for Catalan. So we know that Leeds Rhinos will get up for this game against Wigan. There's no doubt. Wigan will want to bounce back after the defeat to Hull FC. Leeds will want to bounce back after their defeat. No Field, no Cust, no Singleton. Liam Marshall still a doubt. No Caesar expected for Leeds, and also Jack Sinfield failed the HIA. So Myler probably goes into halves, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. We'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, in any other season, this is the game of the round. Not this year. I do genuinely think the one at the Halliwell is the game of the round.
And should be the TV game.
I think so, but I mean, but it was in the books weeks and months ago.
Of course it is, and that's the problem when you schedule games. They just see Leeds Wigan, Saints Leeds, and they pencil them in.
Well, we all agree Leeds are on the telly far too much, but that's another story.
Yeah. You don't need to buy a season ticket for Leeds because you can just sit home and watch them on TV.
100%. Both the Fans Forum and Gary Schofield is going Wigan 18+. Alex Sharpley's done Wigan last year 42-12 and done them in the semi-final. So they will want to do us, and Jai Field is meant to be back. Not heard that. Not heard that. I've heard he's still going to be out for this game.
Heard he's got a couple of weeks. He's a couple of weeks.
I do. So, Alex, I will tip my hat to you next week if that's right, my friend. Yeah. I will. Wigan win, and we win them next week in the cup. Absolutely. Do you know what, Alex? I think that's a really valid point. I think that the same team will win both of those games? No, I don't. I agree with you on that. 100%. But who do we see winning this one in Super League? Where are you going, mate? I'm going to let you go first. I think about it.
Yeah. Wigan against Hull, and Hull fans, I'm sorry. On any other day, Wigan win that game convincingly because that second half they were camped in the Hull half.
Yeah.
Any other day, they win that and they put 30 points up in that, and they put 30 points up in that game.
Yeah.
And I don't think that will happen 2 weeks on the trot. I think Leeds are flattering to deceive. And I think Wigan 9-17.
Do you know what? I've got exactly the same. I wrote that down as you were talking. I don't think it's an 18-pluser.
No.
I don't think the Fans Forum, and I don't think Gary Schofield's got this one right. I don't see it now because we know about Leeds. They get up for these games, and they will get up for this game. That said, like you, I do think that the bruised animal that is Wigan.
Wigan are
I'm with you, mate.
They do.
Yeah,
it's very, very rarely that Wigan lose 2 on the bounce.
Do you know what? I like Alex. Alex, he's a passionate Leeds fan. Here we go. So Alex is flying back. He's going Handley at fullback with Nene McDonald and Tyndall on the wings and Myler and Austin in the middle. He might be right.
Listen, this is not Leeds bashing. Alex, we're not having a go at Leeds.
No, he's giving us a prediction. He's going Handley fullback as opposed to did I put fullback? I don't think I put anybody at fullback. I'll just put Myler in it. Halves. Handley. Well, Nene McDonald can play fullback as well, can't
he? Yeah, he's played there in the past.
Played there in the past, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating, but yeah, I think for me, had Wigan have won last week, then maybe, just maybe, and I saw this closer, but I think Wigan, the machine Wigan is.
Yeah, I think Leeds, they lost to Salford, and they'll want to bounce back. If Leeds were playing anybody other than Wigan this week, I would have said Leeds would bounce back.
Well, here's the thing, mate. And I'd be interested to go back last year and the year before on this, but we haven't got time. Wigan this year lost to Hull KR, won the next game. Lost to Catalan Dragons, won the next game. Very rare.
I've just said that. Yeah, that's what I said. They very, very rarely.
Very rare. You're spot on.
Lose 2 games on the bounce, Wigan. It'd be good to kind of have a look and look at the last time Wigan lost 2 games on the bounce.
So yeah, we're all
maybe,
going Wigan.
Maybe if we do have any Wigan fans in the house, as the kids say, they might tell us.
They might. And the beautiful news is Channel 4 is back. Channel 4 is back on Saturday. Get in there, you little ripper. Mate, should we start early? Me and Reggie have a little date on Saturday night. Soiree. But anyway, let's... But yes, this little cheeky number. Hey, what a game. What a game. The Master and the Apprentice, Walmsley, Dupree. Oh, it's a beauty. It's a beauty. Saints, no. Well, I don't know. Is Mason Knowles back for this? Is he still suspended? Not sure. Is he back for this one? How many games did Knowles get? Is he back? I don't know if he's back. Might be back.
It might be next week. He's back.
Is it next week? Well, if he's next week, Knowles is gone. Percival expected to be out. Matauti is still being given a rest for his concussion. Sivanen not expected to be there. Parsi not expected to be there. Salford still no Tim Lafai. Hey, a young lady called Rebecca Nixon is in the house. Good evening, young lady. Are you well?
I wonder who she may be.
I wonder who she may be. For those of you don't know a girl called Rebecca Nixon, one day she may be gracing a Women's Super League game in the not too distant future. Ken Seo out with an ankle injury. That'll get me a pint on Saturday.
I didn't say it, people. I didn't say
it. Riley is a doubt because of the eye injury that he sustained at the weekend. This is a fascinating game. Gary Schofield going Salford 1-8. The fans forum going St Helens 9-17.
For me, Briley's the big miss.
Massive miss if he's not there. That's not confirmed. He might be back, but yeah, it will be a huge miss.
If Briley was confirmed, I'd go for Salford.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this one. 1 minute I'm going one way, 1 minute.
Sing the Youngblood. There was that bit of Sing the Youngblood there. I've been thinking about you. There's a name.
No, Dave, I never think about you, mate. I've been thinking about this.
Okay, go on, mate.
Because that would be wrong on so many levels. I've been thinking about this. And 1 minute I'm swinging to Saints, then I'm swinging to Salford. Again, Saints are a team that don't generally lose 2 on the bounce.
Exactly.
They need Saints.
But they have this year. They have this year.
Yeah, but Saints need to win this.
They do.
And I think it's that factor. They will try and force that extra pass. They will try and I'm going Salford 1-8.
Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Well, Greg goes with Gary Schofield. I'm going with the forum. I think Saints will bounce back 9-17. Fascinating stuff.
And that's that 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, Saints are winning that 18+.
All day, mate. All day. But hey,
Warrington, not last season, but Warrington 2 seasons ago are beating Hull KR 18+.
Mate,
Leah getting battered. This season is probably winding up to be quite possibly
if only
Super League season in years.
If only Sky could market it, but that's another story because it's entertainment of the highest order. It's the greatest game on earth. It did this year. It's just not disappointed. What a run of fixtures. Halliwell on Friday night, absolutely outstanding. You know, we've got Wigan Leeds, we've got Saints Salford. It's mouth-watering stuff, isn't it? This is your Sky. Disappointingly, only one NRL game, Melbourne Storm taking on your Brisbane Broncos.
The
Greg.
Broncos,
this Thursday. I will help you on Radio Silence for you, sir. 10-11, that one on Sky Arena. Then the Wakey Hull FC game, beautiful stuff.
It's all right being on Radio Silence, mate, because Sky will spoil it for me as soon as it comes on.
Yeah, you might.
Tell me the score.
They will. Irby Farmworth, ladies and gentlemen, if you've not watched the NRL, let me tell you now, forget it. Number 3 at the end of the season against Tonga, it's Herbie Farmer. As long as he doesn't get injured, he has been phenomenal in the NRL this year.
Toby King, Herbie Farmer.
Hasn't got a prayer now. He'll be playing European Championships
Yes.
all day long. Herbie Farnworth is playing outstanding. Wakey against Hull FC on Thursday night at 8 o'clock on Sky. Tune in on the dot at 8 o'clock, because if you tune in at 7:30, all you're going to hear is Wigan and Saints. Not worth it. Come on, 8. Just watch the game. On Friday, and by the way, turn off at full time, because at full time, all you're going to hear is Wigan Leeds. That's the reality. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it as it is. On Friday night is Wigan and Leeds. So if you like Wigan and Leeds, tune in at 7:30, because guess what? They're probably going to talk about St. Helens and Salford, but that's another story. That's another story. So yeah, St. Helens taking on Salford on Saturday.
Get off that fence.
I'm getting off the fence. We've got splinters in my bum. Outstanding stuff. Look, it's a feast of rugby league. It's 3 Super League games on the weekend, and the game that you're going to watch if your teams are not on the telly. So for a Warrington fan, beautiful stuff. Get to the Halliwell Jones Stadium, take the Wigan Leeds game, watch it. Make sure you watch the Wakey Hull game and watch the Saints game on Saturday. It's Christmas. It's brilliant. Wonderful.
It's brilliant.
Wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Greg, what a show. 25-10, flown by.
Good Lord. It's my bedtime.
Absolutely. Get your cocoa. Outstanding stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't beat a bit of weekly. We know.
You nearly said you can't beat a bit of Wilkins then, didn't you?
I did, but I'm going to go weekly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great evening. We've loved your company. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We're going to go out with the top performers as always. Get to a game. Support Super League. It's the greatest game on earth, ladies and gentlemen. Greg,
tell your friends about us and get them to subscribe.
Yeah, and those of you who are watching, if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, get on there. Please support us on every platform. Get involved. Ladies and gentlemen, here they come.
It's been a pleasure. See you next week, guys.
We'll see you next week. Top performers up to round 11. Here they come.